welcome to Trashy Trashy, where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and look at all the trashy news stories. My name is Erica, and I'm your host.
My name is Cassandra, and I'm your other host. Happy Halloween, all you ghosts and ghouls out there.
And non-binary spirits.
That's nice. It's a scary time of year, isn't it?
Mostly because I just paid my taxes.
You must have had an extension because the rest of us pay in April.
Ooh, yeah. Everyone in California was automatically granted an extension this year because of the rain. I think.
The rain? Oh, I didn't. I didn't take advantage of it. I'm a big proponent of get that done in February so that you can get your tax return if you are awarded one.
I was trying to delay making payments because I owe a bunch of money.
My
So I was like,
husband's tax return covered the money that I owed.
this is why you should all get married. Yeah,
Hot tip. Hot tip.
Yeah, I was like, I asked my accountant, I was like, hey, my tax guy, he's great. If you want his number, DM me, y'all. He has so many clients. I don't know if he needs me blowing him up, but like for the listeners, for a baby trash can, I'll give you the hookup.
If you're in, and please hurry because I do have a joke that I need to get out.
Okay. Yeah. I was just gonna say I finally was just like, hey, I know we've been going back and forth about all this, but what if I just don't file taxes? And he's like, there's fines and penalties, there's all this stuff. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, that's why everyone has to do them. And I was like, checks out. Okay, cool. Which joke?
I mean, you'll never know if you don't ask, you know?
Now I know the consequences, but I was like, what if we just let it ride?
What could possibly happen? My joke was that since my husband's tax return paid my taxes, that like married people, like we're all just kind of in like a human centipede with Uncle Sam, right?
Like, Sam's eating everyone's ass though. Sam is eating everyone's ass.
Like I can't possibly get into it because I've spent so much time on this podcast talking about the human centipede. I will for a moment though. No, let's see. Like if my husband's the front because he got a return. No, Uncle Sam is the front.
No, Sam's the end. Wait, no,
Sam is the end. Okay, so I eat and then I owe Uncle Sam money. So so he's the middle, and then my husband is the back because Uncle Sam basically had to like, you know, he just got scraps of his tax return. Like he was maybe supposed to be in the middle, but because I owed money. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh no, that means that Taylor dies first. I think it's been a while since I've watched that movie. Hey, maybe that should be what I watch on Halloween. Probably not. I don't ever need to revisit that movie. Lord knows I talk about it enough. Erica, we have to stop. Please stop me. Why are you trash? My God.
I've been driving around Los Angeles. It's a place where I live. And I came across a street. I'm going to tell a Halloween one. I'm going to tell a quick one and then the Halloween one.
A double trash.
A double trash. I come across a street. And my mind just starts giggling immediately because I'm a child inside. And it's Cumster Street. Cumstr. There's a Cumster Street somewhere in Los Angeles. And my mind immediately giggles and I go, Cum Dumpster Street. I'd hate to live on Cumster Street.
That's what's crazy is that if it exists, it was probably someone's last name.
Right?
There's a Cumston also. I've never heard of Cumster. But yeah, carry on.
Cumster. And I was just like, oh, of the New England Cumsters? It's absolutely somebody's name, probably, right? I was just like, you're a child. I was thinking about a Halloween of years past. And this was one of my favorite Halloweens. I was dressed as a deer, like a doe. I did the full face makeup. Very good. I had antlers, little brown booty shorts, little brown shirt, leggings that were, brown and very cute. And we were going out in West Hollywood for the parade that year. And so Winston, my partner, was dressed as Medea of Tyler Perry's Medea. It was fantastic. He met other Medeas on the street and they had Medea offs. It was one of the best nights. But as a part of the West Hollywood tradition, you will see an actor from the movie Euro Trip.
Always.
And it is a guarantee that you will see
It's best to watch Eurotrip before a WeHo Halloween to make sure you don't miss them.
Absolutely. Because you will see Scott Melchowitz out in WeHo on Halloween. That is 100% guarantee. No question. So I ran into
Scotty
him.
doesn't know, but you do know that you will see.
I know.
Scotty.
I know. Scotty doesn't know. That's one of the cool. I loved it. I watched that movie probably 15 times before I left high school. And it came out
was like
year.
Just dominated. I'm hesitant to revisit.
Don't know how it holds up.
Mayhaps it didn't age well.
I have seen some clips on social media recently, though, of like the Eastern Europeans. It's just it's very silly. You know, sex comedy romp for teens, 2004. Guy has girlfriend in high school. Girlfriend cheats on him.
You don't need to explain Eurotrip on this podcast.
Yeah. But I run into Scotty, you know, the Mankiewicz character, and he's of course there, and he has so many women flanked around him. Is this man that handsome? No. He is known for this movie and like maybe one episode of Law and Order. Women are flocked around him, and of course everyone is screaming at him. Scotty doesn't know. And I have a photo with him because I was like, hey man, he was dressed, it was the Where the Wild Things when that movie came out, the live action. He was dressed as a wild thing. He had the crown. Yeah. So I was like,
another thing that had everyone in a chokehold that Halloween.
A deer and Where the Wild Things Are, they have to have a photo. But earlier that night, as we were getting to the parade, just like trash. I was like, one famous, like that is a famous person you can approach. If someone has done one thing, like Chadwick Boseman, hey, don't approach someone like that. Like
mostly because he's dead.
Well, okay, now he's deceased. Yeah, bad pull.
You want to pick someone else?
Gwyneth Paltrow. There's just certain people where you just kind of give them the.
I just punched the shit out of my mic at the same time that I did that. So
she was so angry at me.
Why don't we just? We can definitely edit that out, and you can try again, or if you want to keep it,
let it ride.
All right, go for it.
I'm just saying, like, there's just certain famous people where you just kind of give them the like, oh, what do you do? Oh, okay, head nod. But someone like that, famous for Eurotrip, you absolutely can't approach and get a photo because that's the only thing they have living for them. Earlier that night, I also met CeeLo in a bathroom at a hotel lobby. And he has yes, this is the thing before we knew, but he has the tiniest arms. Like it was like a T-Rex. It was T-Rex arms, and he took a photo with me. It was just a very trashy, like West Hollywood night, and I was like, I'm so cute as a deer, because I'm sure someone posted it on Pinterest that year, because Instagram was just kind of starting. But yeah, it was such a great year, but I definitely had me a night, and then I got to watch Winston have Medea offs in the street of West Hollywood, and I was like, man, this is the Hollywood trash dream. So that's why I'm trash. Yeah, Cumster Street. It all happened on Cumster Street.
I'll go ahead and do a Halloween trash. I hadn't planned on it, although I don't know why. But you reminded me of it with your deer costume because probably the same exact. No, I don't know. I don't know what year you're talking about. I'm talking about I'm going to say 2015 or 2016. No,
mine's
it's probably 2016
or 2015. I think I can't.
Okay,
yeah, somewhere
so we
in there.
were around the same time as my story. I'm almost positive I did a deer in 2012. Maybe I was the Pinterest you saw. But it doesn't matter. In 2016, I'm going to guess that lines up with the timeline. I dressed as a giraffe. So,
that's so cute.
Yeah, the ears, an all brown outfit. And then I drew like the spots up my long, slim neck because I had one of those in 2016. And
today, you're just as gorgeous today.
Wow, thank you. Me and an ex of mine went to a Halloween party. We were in Denver, and one of my cousins became notorious for throwing Halloween parties, just raucous bangers, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. No spoiling. And this ex, couldn't hang. He did his best, but just couldn't drink like us Colorado kids. Yeah, us Cuban Colorado kids. So he needed to vomit, and that was fine. But I needed to find him the right place to do it.
Right.
And there was only like 2 bathrooms in that house, which it was established you can't puke in the house. That's just wildly inappropriate.
Right.
You have to puke outside. I believe the driveway was being taken already. And so I was like, let's just go for a walk. Maybe you can shake this off. He couldn't. He definitely needed to puke. And so I found him a house that had a Trump Pence 2016 sign displayed in the lawn. And I said, how about right here? Because he wanted to. He was like, how about this earlier lawn? I said, no, let's go one more house. I think that's the one. And so
walk it off. You can walk it off.
Yeah. So, it was a drunken giraffe move, but I decided to use his bile to make a political statement because it's not a political podcast, but I'm not afraid to say I did not want Trump to win the 2016 election.
Cass, keep it non-political. Hey.
Sorry. I didn't want it. Okay. I didn't want it. I'll say it.
And I said, yeah.
Yeah, so I had him puke all over that lawn. Again, like, it's trashy because that's just a person, who was like putting their political sign out like a lot of people do. Like, he had to puke somewhere. And I'm pretty sure it snowed the next day. So
of course.
It was probably fine. Who's to say? I'll tell you what's not fine though is our first story.
Absolutely. I was just going to say the funniest thing Trump could ever do is become a Patreon at the $200,000 a month level where we stop doing this podcast publicly and just have to do the podcast for him. So Trump, if you really want to curry favor with the Gen Z and the ironic millennials, this is the move, bro.
Babe,
this is the move.
I don't know that he can afford that.
You know what? Good question. But you know what? I can't afford anymore either. Is Taco Bell. It's so goddamn expensive.
Okay, so this is absolutely horrid. From KTLA.com, a Taco Bell employee gave a haircut in the restaurant's kitchen.
Ugh. There's a photo circulating social media of an Indiana Taco Bell cutting a coworker's hair in the kitchen, that's something you do at home. Cutting hair in the kitchen, you gather around the sink, you throw a towel around your shoulders. Meemaw's out there giving haircuts. Not at a Taco Bell.
No.
Do you know the meat comes to Taco Bell?
No hair.
No hair. It's also powdered and then they add liquid. And you think that's going to deter me? No, baby. Now I just think, well, that's science. I'm eating science food.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's somebody was trying. I saw a clip about somebody trying to deter someone from eating the meat at Taco Bell. And they told them it's just basically powdered. They added water and it like comes up or what makes Taco Bell meat. And I was like, we living in the future, baby. We living in the future.
So it didn't work on you. Okay, well, so
astronaut food.
This former employee took this picture, then got fired. She just shared it to a few people on Snapchat that ended up on wider social media, but she did get fired. And she had said, I definitely know what kinds of things you are not supposed to be doing inside of kitchens. Yeah. Cutting hair is one of them.
Excuse me, miss, there's hair in my food. And it's, would you like a trim? You looking like shit right now. Maybe she's advertising. That's her way of getting clients. You come up to complain about the food and she's like, baby, I'll do 2 for 1. You buy another chalupa, I'll get you a trim,
The haircut happened as the crew was getting ready for the lunch rush. The employee getting the haircut had a trash bag draped over her to keep the hair off of her clothing. It was only about 3 feet away from where you make the food.
That is so disgusting. The Howard County Health Department responded to a complaint about that Taco Bell and did an inspection on Friday. The department spokesperson did not confirm or deny the haircut photo possibly was connected to the complaint. They could not confirm nor deny.
Because I don't see anything in this article about how she's like suing them for being fired over this. And certainly there's some sort of whistleblowing reward. Then again, maybe not at a small Indiana franchise Taco Bell. You know what's not a small Indiana franchise Taco Bell?
Baby, we're talking the cartel. It's worldwide. It's huge.
From WSJ.com, Mexican Sinaloa cartel's message to members, stop making fentanyl or die.
Hey, Cass, which cartel's your favorite?
Ooh, gosh. It's like asking me my favorite band. It kind of just changed depending on my mood.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just going to be honest, though. I'm always a Sinaloa girl. Like,
okay.
Rolling Stones were my first concert. Sinaloa is always going to be my favorite cartel. Like, that's just who I am, you know? That's just who I am. But they, the Sinaloa cartel, amongst others, have issued a warning to members in Mexico. It's like a full-on PR campaign.
If we've learned anything, is that cartels have PR. And that's honestly probably a smart move. So this Sinaloa cartel, which is infamously started by now imprisoned drug lord El Chapo, is now being led by the Chapitos, which are his 4 sons. I guess
That's such a cute name for like the 4 sons. Like, oh, my Chapitos. Like, that's just a cute little name. They're probably terrifying men.
Spanish is a really, really cute language.
No snitch tagging the cartel on this podcast, please.
No. So U.S. law enforcement, is putting a lot of pressure on these cartels for this fentanyl thing specifically, which is good because fentanyl is very dangerous.
Stop doing street drugs, y'all. It sucks. We can't do drugs. You have to have test strips. It's not the fun anymore. It's not the fun times. It's not the, ooh, I'm going to try this. And like Cass and I aren't drug people. But guess what? Now we can never start because of fentanyl.
And that I find is selfish.
Truly.
Because what if I want to pick that up later? So in Sinaloa, the sale, manufacture, transport, or any kind of business involving the substance known as fentanyl, including the sale of chemical products for its elaboration, is permanently banned, is what several banners hung on billboards and overpasses in Culiacan. You have been warned, the message read. Sincerely yours, the Chapitos. Now, is this to say that this organization is so big that they can't that the billboards, for the public too is like the only way that they can contact all of their employees? Like they can't just have like a quick meeting,
I think
Zoom
they're trying
over
to make
this?
sure the public know. I'm sure the issue went down, right? Everybody woke up with like a horse head in their bed and they were like, oh, got the fentanyl memo. Thank you. But this is to let anyone trying to become a part of the Sinaloa cartel or like come into this or let the public know we take this shit serious. Don't do this in our name. Don't, you know what I mean? I think this is their PR arm of it because I'm sure all the members, again, got the horsehead memos. And, like the Slack went out. It was like, at reply your manager if you've read this. I'm sure that happened, like in the memo.
At here, no more fentanyl,
At all.
Yeah.
Notify
I BCC'd everybody. Yeah.
It sucks. It's horrible. Like seriously horrible. Anything that is not from a doctor is fucking scary right now. Like if you think you're buying a pill from someone that came from a doctor, you don't fucking know right now. It's terrifying. But yeah, I like that the cartel's like, I don't support crime. Organized, unorganized. I don't support crime. But the cartel gets me a little bit when they're like, well, we built some playgrounds in a hospital and we're going to kill anybody that's making fentanyl. And I'm like, but I know you guys are bad. I know you guys are selling drugs and killing people.
It just goes to show things are like an onion, well-rounded,
Yes.
All we know is that drugs are not consistent. But you know what is consistent?
What?
McDonald's.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you what's not consistent about a McDonald's before we get into this next story.
Oh my God.
I think I've talked about the McDonald's app. Such an advocate. Love it, right? Right now they're having their Halloween Happy Meals. And they have the plastic rounds that are a goblin, a mummy, a ghost, a pumpkin, the witch one, which is purple, really hard to find. But I have enough points in the app to get a free Happy Meal, right?
Okay.
It's just enough food. And it sucks when you have to be like, do you have the witch? Do you have the witch Happy Meal? And they have to go, we don't know. It's literally random. And I'm like, okay, but do you have the purple one? But they've been fucking up. The app has been glitching, not taking my points out, charging me full price for these Happy Meals. They've been putting onions on the cheeseburger when I explicitly say, hey, my kid's allergic to onions. No onions, please. Do I have a kid? No, it's me. It's me. I just don't like onion. I'm on a list at a McDonald's to get a free Happy Meal because they messed up so bad. I'm just saying that they're not being consistent right now. Am I mad about a $4 Happy Meal? Yes.
There's like an onion, just so many layers to that anecdote.
Mad at them.
That you just said that I almost don't know
You don't care to comment on
I don't
any?
know if I have any further questioning, counselor. So from the metrotimes.com, a,
One
Ger-
couple is not unhappy with McDonald's.
a German couple got married. It's like, you're a grown-ass woman. What do you care if what Happy Meal you get? No,
I
stop.
want the
Stop it.
purple one
Okay,
because I have
well,
the green one, I have the orange one, I have the white
why are you
one.
saving them?
Because I put candy in them and I leave them out for guests.
For guest?
They're
Singular?
guest with an S. 2 S's in guest.
Do you think that you're saying guests?
Guest.
You just said guest over and over again. Guest with 2 S's, as in guests. Like,
Yeah,
God,
guess who
Erica,
guess how
I
many
gotta,
people are coming over.
I want to talk about this couple who got married in McDonald's, but you're acting absolutely insane.
Yes. Like what Anna Nicole was the jeans model for Guest jeans, right?
What? Yes.
I know, I'm just playing.
Oh my God. Okay, a German couple got married in a Michigan McDonald's. And the reason, well, one of the reasons is that they wanted to have the ultimate United States wedding day. But it sounds like Mike and Kathy Holler, a newly married couple from Munich, Germany, they're just McDonald's freaks and they like this one in Croswell, Michigan.
Ugh, love it. I mean, I've talked about my gourmet McDonald's experience. It was the couple and their 23 guests, most of which flew in from Germany to make that wedding and reception happen. They arrived in a Mickey D's branded Ford Mustang. They had a cheeseburger, fries, McNuggets, Coca-Colas, and even joined by Grimace. Lucky.
Wow.
He's purple, just like the witch little Happy Meal bucket that I'm looking for. Did you have the Grimace shake?
No.
It was really
have
good.
dairy.
Oh, yeah. It was, I mean,
The
it was
trends
scary.
that I participate in are usually books.
Oh,
Ever heard of it?
high learned. Just brag that you're literate, okay?
Yeah, I skipped out on the Grimace shake. According to a press release, these guys are world travelers and McDonald's mega fans. See, I feel like this is who Taylor wants me to be because every time we go to a different country, he's like, gotta go to McDonald's. You gotta go to McDonald's. And I'm like,
different stuff.
I'm in fucking Porto. Like, why would I go to McDonald's? But then I still get dragged to and actually the McDonald's in Porto is I will say the McDonald's in Porto, a really fancy one. And I remember thinking to myself, because I like didn't get like the Portuguese McDonald's. I was like, give me, the normal. Like I didn't even know what I could stomach. I will say I was like, oh, maybe the chicken nuggets here taste less like the equivalent of a chicken hot dog. And they did. They tasted like real chicken. And I found myself wanting the United States chicken nugget, the mincemeat, whatever mystery that doesn't taste like any other chicken nugget ever. I wanted that one. So anyways, they said, we love McDonald's. I think that is clear. Every country we visit has its own unique burger or meal, so we like to try everything. We've been to McDonald's in Japan, Israel, Italy, all over Europe, and it's always fun because you have your standard meal that always feels like home anywhere you are.
Now, I will say the best thing I ever had at a McDonald's in Tokyo, in Japan, at Halloween time, this time they had fries and they had this orange and then black dipping sauces. I don't know what they were. They're fantastic, but they also said, hey, put honey on these fries. And I said, Porque? What? And they said, yeah, dip a little honey in them. Fantastic. A slightly like a salted fry with ketchup and honey. It's so goddamn good. And whatever that orange sauce was, fantastic. I'm just saying, guys, you got to try the Ford McDonald's.
We have some of their wedding photos. They look like completely normal German people.
They look like normal, yes.
Posing with
German
Grimace.
tourists.
And they've got like one of the photo to show off the rings that's typically like, just an intimate moment, maybe holding flowers or something like that. The way that they went with it was both of them reaching for fries.
It's very sweet.
To each their own, and to everyone out there, it's time for an ad break.
Go get some McDonald's during this break. They don't sponsor us, so don't yet.
Yeah, no. Erica, do you have any concerts coming up?
Always. I'm a festival girly, you know. I have to get the VIP though, because I cannot go without an air-conditioned bathroom.
Okay, well, my sweet angel, planning for faster and efficient hydration is also essential for festivals. And Liquid IV has you covered while you prep before, power through that headliner, and recover after the weekend.
Hey, now don't count yourself out while you're drunk poolside all summer, Cass. Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water and with 3 times the electrolytes than traditional sports drinks.
I mean, we really have no excuses. Liquid IV is actually standard in my purse. It goes phone, wallet, keys, Liquid IV.
And with flavors like lemon lime, pastique, that's French for watermelon, and my favorite, strawberry lemonade, staying hydrated is easy peasy.
Mama, I'm talking B3, I'm talking B5, I'm talking B6, and I'm screaming from the rooftops, B12.
They've got all the Bs.
And there's a little bit of vitamin C in there too, just for kicks.
Oh, she's made from premium ingredients and is free from gluten, dairy, and soy.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, I'm vegan now. I don't know if I've talked about that yet.
We know. Okay. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code TRASHY at checkout.
That's 20% off of anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code TRASHY at liquidiv.com.
Honestly, we're so trashy, we're hydrated.
Wet trash.
Did you enjoy your vacation?
Yeah, that was a nice ad break. I had a really good time. I muted myself for like 1 second, and then all of a sudden we were back. It was crazy.
Has anything crazy ever happened to you when you got back from vacation?
I realized that like maybe I don't like my dog very much.
Oh no.
Just kidding. No, I don't know. Nothing. Certainly nothing like our next story.
Sent in by Tina Curry. A woman returns from vacation to find her family home mistakenly demolished.
So a homeowner is mulling the next step after a company mistakenly demolished a home that she owned in Southwest Atlanta. She said that...
What is happening? I'm going to interrupt. What is happening in Atlanta? This is our third story third that I've read, second that we've covered on the podcast. One was by the city, one was by a company of people having their homes demolished.
Girl, I don't know. Accident. I have a friend who just moved to Atlanta recently, and when we were chatting on FaceTime, she was like, oh yeah, like I've been walking around the neighborhoods, you know, and I always see like women out and they always have like a bat with them, so I need to get a bat for my walks. And I was like, what are you talking about? A bat? And they were like, oh yeah, she, like they said it's for animals. So
sure.
And I'm like, what? You live in like Atlanta, hot Atlanta, like the second biggest film town potentially? That Atlanta? You're fighting off animals with bats and you're trying to not have your home demolished on accident?
It's horrifying. I loved my time in Atlanta, but I get carrying a bat. Them Georgia peaches and Georgia dogs are big.
So a neighbor called her while she was away and asked if someone had been hired to tear down this vacant house. Okay, so here's my problem. Yes, it's fucked up that this company got the wrong house, but the way they described the house that she had, she was like, oh yeah, we keep it boarded up. It's, you know, it's covered. The grass is cut and the yard is clean. The taxes are paid, but it's a boarded up house. I'm not taking the side of this company who should probably double check their addresses before they demolish homes, but certainly a boarded up house, you know, follows the criteria of like, oh yeah, this is probably the one that we're supposed to do, right?
I mean, if the grass is overgrown, but I mean, I don't know. I've seen some nice boarded up houses. I've seen some ones that are not boarded up and should be torn down.
Yes, I will agree with.
I'm just saying, as a kid, if there was a house boarded up in Sterling or somewhere, I've heard of, I guess the statute of limitations are up, but we would go in an abandoned house. And then we would make up some ghost stories that it was haunted, but we went in tons of abandoned houses as a kid. Some of them are kind of nice inside.
Was The Catcher in the Rye or not The Catcher in the Rye? What am I thinking of? What's the one with Scout? To Kill a Mockingbird. Is that written about you?
You know, I'm going to say something so trashy. I've never read To Kill a Mockingbird. I've read The Catcher in the Rye probably 57 times and have...
Really? That one sucks. And
11 copies. I'm angsty, so I always identify with Holden Caulfield in different moments or different people in the book at different times in my life. I'm not going to kill John Lennon, I promise, but I'm just saying, like, I get it. Like, I get the phonies, but I know I need to read.
Here's something crazy. The only once and only time that I read Catcher in the Rye, I was in high school and came into possession of some marijuana. And that's all I'll say about it. It was my first time ever smoking out of a bong. My first and last time. I got so high, but then like left alone, you know?
Oh,
like
no. Yeah,
the
you can't do
people
that.
I had smoked with were like, gotta go. And I was like, oh no. And so I read The Catcher in the Rye, like cover to cover. I only had to do a few chapters for class and I just read the whole book and I hated it. I was like, this is awful. And I still hold that. But Taylor actually read that book this year randomly as a part of a prompt from the book club that we're in. And he didn't like it either. So I stand by what I said.
Well, because
That
you
it's
guys
a
are like
stupid book.
well-adjusted adults at this point, but you
That's
gotta,
fair.
yeah.
Well, you haven't
You
read
know,
Kill a
teachers,
Mockingbird.
yeah, I
So
know.
what I said, it doesn't even land. And honestly, I haven't read that since high school. So maybe it didn't land anyways. I'm just shocked that you went to abandoned houses. The point is that when the neighbor confronted this company and said, hey, why are you tearing down this house? The guy was like, shut up and mind your own business. And then a family member went over and was like, yo, can I see your permit? And then the guy was like, here's the permit. And she was like, that's not this address. And they were like, oh. And then they stopped and they left.
No.
But the damage was done.
Damage is done. I would Yelp them for sure. That's
For
all I can say.
sure.
That's not a threat of violence. I would write a strongly worded Yelp review.
Of course.
Yeah, but I never had a teacher tell me I have to read to teach a Mockingbird or how to write a strong letter. I had to learn that stuff on my own. I had to learn that on my own.
Well, some of these kids will have to start learning things on their own because their teacher got fired. According to the mirror.com, a teacher was fired after saving up his, quote, milky lactose intolerance farts for students. I think we all know what those are like.
Steven Taylor, Cass and I for sure know what a lactose intolerant fart has. This teacher, he was fired after videos emerged of him claiming to silently fart around students before, quote, letting them stew, and also teaching them Abraham Lincoln invented the car. Now, a long time ago, I had a plan that if I ever have children, I would teach them, me and my friend, shout out Baby Trash Can, Garrett Hondronasis. Garrett and I were like, if we have kids, we're going to teach them all the wrong words for things. We're going to teach them wrong history. We're going to teach them stuff just to wind them up like tops and then send them out into society. And that, dear listener, is how you build psychopaths. Like if they all of a sudden realize they've been
remind me not to call you if I ever
babysit.
need a babysitter, if I ever have a child,
We did. Yeah, we were like, oh, we could just teach them all this stuff. And then when they get in the world, it'd be like so funny to watch them realize. Again, we were children when we were saying that, 22-year-olds. We were children when we were saying this. But you can't, like, that's how you build, like, psychos when they go, wait, the world isn't the way that I thought it all was? That's really funny, though. I like this teacher.
This teacher in Kansas was fired after joking on TikTok that he was saving up his farts for the classroom to fart on students. He worked as a teacher for 6 years alongside a career as a stand-up comedian and was fired from Oath's Milk Creek campus. He made a series of videos on TikTok, and he would say like that he would drop bombs on the students with these farts and that he would teach his students the wrong things when he would get annoyed by them, and then he would sign off a video saying, and you know what, they can't fire me because they need me too badly, which is definitely a kiss of death for anybody who thinks that they're about to get away with some shit at work.
Yep. Speaking of getting away with some shit at work, did you know that in like 7 to 12 states, I don't know the exact figure, you don't have to be a lawyer or pass the bar to become a judge. Now, California, unfortunately, is a state where you have to be a lawyer to be a judge.
Sorry, did you just say unfortunately?
Unfortunately, because I was going to run. I was like, I look good in judge's robe. But a lot of states, like Montana's one, Texas is one, I think, a lot of the western east states. But you can, because judges are elected. So I was like, I can get on the ballot. I'd love to just do some shit. I think I'd be great.
Well,
but Oklahoma, you do have to pass the bar, unfortunately.
And passing the bar doesn't necessarily mean that you're a responsible judge, because from theguardian.com, this Oklahoma judge sent 500 texts to the bailiff during a murder trial and now is facing removal thanks to gross neglect of duty.
Yes. So she sent 500 texts to her bailiff during a trial, which is
They
insane.
were gossiping.
They were mocking the prosecutor, praising the defense attorney, and calling the key witness a liar. They were making fun of people's hair, the hands. They were marking jurors, I think. It was like, I mean, it's everything you think. You just don't text your work buddy if you're a judge.
Or you do text your work friend while you're thinking it if you're just not a judge. I think it, like, basically it felt like they were like live tweeting this trial to each other. And so it was like, they said like, oh, like the prosecutor is sweating through his coat. She questioned why some jurors have baby hands and mentioned that a cop was super hot, or a police officer was pretty, saying I could look at him all day. Oh, and then the judge said, state just couldn't accept that a mom could kill their kids, so they went after the next person available. This was not good. Because when I first read the headline, I was like, oh my God, I'm living. Like, that's probably what I would do. And then I learned more and I was like, maybe I wouldn't.
Fraud trial, not a murder of a child.
Okay, look, I'm going to say it. You're not allowed to have your phone when you're in court. I don't know if anyone's ever been to court for like a traffic violation or something like that. Sometimes they have some juicy ones go in with the traffic people. Mm-hmm. Okay. I've been in court for a traffic violation, just waiting my turn, and had to just watch like a full-blown restraining order happen as well.
Yeah.
But you can't text you can't text while you're in the courtroom, which feels right. But it wasn't like we were all sworn to secrecy. Like all I did was ran a red light. I didn't ask to watch that. So like, you better believe when I got out of there, I was texting all my friends being like, whoa, I just saw the juiciest thing.
Of course.
Is that a crime? I hope not. It was like probably 15 years ago. So it's gotta be fine, right?
I'm sure the statute of limitations are up at this point. Surely. What, like 200,000 people listen to this podcast a month? Like, it's fine. It's fine.
Not is that true? People. That's a lot of people.
You know, one of my favorite listeners is Jessica M. Maybe favorite people on this planet.
Jessica M is one of our Patreon subscribers, and I did put it out there that if you are within the first 10 Patreon subscribers, you would be receiving fan fiction written about you. There is still space. I'm not trying to like blow our own horn and be like, damn, we only have... It doesn't matter, okay? The Patreon's still new, and there's still space if you want your own fan fiction. But today, I'm going to be highlighting baby trash can listener Jessica M. I'm not going to say her full name. That seems fucking crazy. So I'm going to read some fan fiction about Jessica M, if I may, Patreon subscriber. It was cold that morning. Colder than it had been in a long time. What month was it now? Jessica M thought to herself. Time had really been left to the wayside after the dumpster fire of 2027. What's the point of seasons if the sky is always going to burn orange? Jessica saddled up to her dining room table and cracked open her breakfast ration. She had a feeling that whatever day today was, it was going to be a long one. She slipped out the front door and decided to take a walk, the crisp air hitting like the cool side of a pillow. Did the air still smell like trash? Sure, but everyone was used to that by now. Jessica was part of a team of researchers trying to pull the trash out of the ocean and send it into space. They just didn't know it would come rocketing down all at once like a giant meteor shower. 800 craters of trash hit the U.S. alone. That's at least one per state, right? She didn't know. Jessica was bad at math. A small flicker of light caught her eye as she passed an abandoned HomeGoods. A distress signal from inside? She wasn't sure. Her brain told her to keep walking, but her body was moving toward the light. Inside, she called, "Hello?" through the wreckage of tin signs and dog beds.
"Be you Jessica M?"
She stumbled back. Nobody knew her real name anymore. She went by Claire M after the disaster to avoid being sentenced. The perfect disguise. No, I'm Claire M.
I know. You be Jessica M. And I be...
Rumbles of clanging bars came from the rug display, and Jessica's eyes moved up, up, to see the face of something wicked staring back at her.
Junkheed Willerbottom, a junk monster.
What? How?
Did ye really think no aliens would ride the trash piles down to Earth?
Of course I thought that. I'm bad at math, not aliens. But it's been 9 months? A year? Oh God, I don't know. But it's been a while since the fire, so why come out now?
It was too hot before. Just felt like inside days, you know. Like maybe a pool day, but I don't know anyone who has one that isn't in an apartment.
Yeah, totally.
But it be cold now, and now I will kill.
No! Jessica knew that the number of people that had suffered at the hands of her lab's mistake was too big to pronounce in one try. She couldn't add to that. She knew this time she had to do something, and not just hide as Claire M. either. She needs to do something. Junkheed took a step toward her, crushing 60 candles from brands nobody's ever heard of under its foot. Jessica looked around, desperate to find something. She held up a Rachel Ray pan in turquoise as a weapon, and Junkheed just laughed. Jessica continued to run. This place was a mess. And if she was remembering correctly, it didn't even really get hit. It was just always a mess in home goods. Junkheed sprayed bits of trash juice at Jessica, which she quickly blocked with a wood cutting board carved into an American flag. Finally, she saw it. She saw the weapons she knew could stop a junk monster. They could stop a wild boar. They could stop an army. She ran over to the shelf of loose olive oils and vinegars that had no expiration dates and felt so expensive compared to the other items that it was as if the employees were almost warning you not to purchase them, and she began to uncap the bottles. Junkheed stopped.
What ye doing? Why do I smell rancid rosemary?
And suddenly, Junkheed lost sight of Jessica.
Huh? Where ye go?
Hi-ya! From darkness, Jessica hurled an open bottle of maraschino cherry and basil vinegar at Junkheed's head, and the sizzle of his skin was deafening.
No!
She hurled more, oregano and pink lady apple, white chocolate and garlic vinegar, authentic feet-pressed olive oil from a local farm in Miami. Each bottle shattering on Junkheed and melting it down smaller and smaller until finally Jessica approached and poured the killing blow. A 4th of July Coca-Cola poultry marinade. And then Junkheed was nothing. Was she part of the reason the world was like this? Yes. But did she save more people on that day? Yes. And she would save more after that, and after that, and after that. Until one day, she received the Nobel Prize in Saving People that was immediately revoked when she said that she wasn't Claire M. and that she was Jessica M. Then she was sentenced to Guantanamo. The end.
Thunderous applause breaks. Thunderous applause breaks.
Thank you. Thank you. I know I mentioned that I might write some smutty fan fiction, but I guess I was just overtaken by the season.
Honestly, a 4th of July Coca-Cola poultry marinade is smutty to me.
Wow. Well, you know what's smutty to me?
What?
An advertisement.
Do you need more trash in your life?
I'd say better in my life than dumped in the ocean.
Well, Trashy is now on Patreon.
Oh, yay!
We have ad-free episodes, bonus content, an exclusive RSS link, outtakes, photos, and more.
And with tiers starting at only $1.99 a month, you'll be the trashiest person on your block.
It's a great opportunity to show your support for this podcast and to skip hearing ads like this.
So get on over to patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast and start subscribing today.
Again, that's patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast, and we'll see you behind the paywall. And we're back. So, Cass, I feel like sometimes this just doesn't have the juice. Some of these stories just don't quite get it.
Or
Done.
Sometimes they have a little bit too much juice, and maybe we don't get it.
Too much juice. Yeah. Do you remember Get Her Done? Did that have a cultural impact to you?
That had a cultural impact to everyone, whether you wanted it or not. that was Larry the Cable Guy, right?
Yes.
I don't think that anyone didn't get hit with that, even though
God,
we didn't want it.
we didn't want it, but we want these in limited capacity. I remember, so one of my organizations, FFA, in high school, we would make shirts every year, right? Like, and we'd have a slogan like "to make the best better" or da da da. And one year we got to have, and I campaigned hard for this, but we got "Get Her Done" shirts. She'd be like Sterling FFA, "Get her done." And man, I was like, I should be a lobbyist. I'm really good at like campaigning and swaying people's opinions, but you swayed me. Your opinion swayed me to cut these stories. That's what I'm saying.
After long last, we cut that.
From Fox59.com, Richmond woman fakes heart attack, hides drugs in privates. The court docs reveal. We just simply don't have time. And to unpack the fact that there was an avocado-sized sandwich bag in their privates with meth, fentanyl, crack, and cocaine. I don't know how. There's so many variety of sizes of avocados. We can't get into it.
It would take up the whole podcast. From sltrib.com, bear attack survivor treated at University of Utah Hospital, ready to win round 2. I had to cut this because I couldn't tell if it was a heroic story of a man who survived a bear attack thanks to the generous donations from a GoFundMe, and he was kidding, or if this was a man who survived a bear attack, had friends and family pay for it on GoFundMe, and then literally intends to go back into the woods to try to fight the bear again. And that's why we had to cut it.
Because if it's me, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go find that bear. I'm going to go back. It will be my dying mission. But I'm garbage, and we don't know if this man is or isn't.
You know what? And who am I? Like, GoFundMes aren't taxpayer money, so whatever. We can't get into it. So we've
already talked about The Revenant.
Exactly.
From Fox59.com, a second story. Muncie woman steals car from dealership to drive to exotic dancer interview in Indianapolis. We love a female entrepreneur, but we cannot support stealing. We just can't.
Yeah, we were too conflicted. We were too conflicted on how to feel.
I mean, fisticuffs, Cass and I came to on this story. So we just said, you know what? Put our friendship aside. Let's cut it. So.
Yeah, let's cut it. But I'm curious if you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Well, great, because it's time for the dumpster fire of the week. Oh my God.
From 12news.com, Gilbert dad strips down at school board meeting to protest new lax student dress code policy.
So here's the too long didn't read, because honestly, I feel like we both have a lot of opinions about it. And that's just, we'll just get more into that. But there's the student dress code had not been changed since 2001. Now they are changing it. And they're basically trying to say, like, clothing must cover all body parts and your undergarments, and it can't be see-through. But if your waistbands or your straps, like your chonies, are a little bit visible, it's fine. But like, they can't be worn as clothes. They're loosening it up. And this guy hated that, and so he showed up in a crop top and shorts. And they still like voted to keep the new dress code. But like, that's the story. I think he's missing the point. Don't you?
Yes, he's saying, like, is this how you want the girls to be able to dress in this school? Like, look at me. Like, it's fucking men, grown-ass men and young boys being like, well, they're like, girls are a distraction. That makes me so fucking irate.
I mean, it's undeniable that these old school dress policies affect women more than they affect men. And it is all done out of girls can't wear spaghetti strap tank tops to school because little boys allegedly can't control themselves in seeing that. Girls have to make sure that their skirts are no shorter than their fingertips, but it's because boys can't control themselves. And so it's overly restrictive on girls because I guess that's easier than just trying to teach boys
and grown men
and grown male teachers to like lock it up.
Keep your eyes to yourself. It's so. I got dress coded one time. Now my shorts were questioned a couple times, but the fingertip, baby, I got short hands. Yeah, I know how to cup a hand appropriately. Okay, I know how to make a short look long enough. But then they stopped doing the fingertip rule and they started putting the dollar bill from the knee cap to the edge of your shorts. Yeah.
What are you guys going on safari with shorts that long?
I'm like, okay, what am I wearing? Culottes or what? Culottes? Like what? Culottes? Yeah, I got that changed because it was the fingertip rule, but they because that was kind of more like, oh, everyone's body is in proportion. Some people have longer arms, longer legs, longer but then it became the dollar bill rule. And I was like, hey, what creepy ass administrator has to whip out a dollar bill and throw it on a student?
That's what I'm asking. Who's holding that dollar bill to the leg?
It ain't the lunch ladies. But I got dress code one time. I wore a skirt. And I was so proud. It was between my either sophomore and junior and senior year. I got to go on this like really cool summer leadership camp excursion. We went all over the state, met all these different things. It was a neat little thing. And my grandmother, Grandma Curry, R.I.P., like helped me get some new outfits for it because these were going to be like private schools and rich people. And I was like, I don't have anything to wear. And like Grandma Curry took me. We got some really nice, cute, little preppy, nice things. I'm sure they're just from American Eagle, but it was like nice, right?
Right.
Well, I wore one of the skirts that I wore on this thing that was deemed appropriate to meet like the lieutenant governor in and was, complimented. And I got dress coded at school for wearing that skirt with a polo shirt. Of course, it was 2003 or 4. Of course, there was like a polo.
Only one polo shirt at once?
I think the double polos wasn't until like 2006 and beyond for me.
Oh,
personally.
I see.
Yeah. But yeah, I got so, and I was like, dude, I met like, I was so pissed because I was like, I'm a good kid. I don't set this school on fire. I was so mad.
I watched a girl get next to me in freshman year get dress coded because she had too much cleavage showing, and
they had oversized t-shirts at our school that they would make you put on.
It's like, look, and I'm gonna sound like an old geezer, but also like whatever. Kids today dress in like some pretty crazy crop tops and stuff, but like so did we.
We did
too. My God, all I wanted was like my jeans to just barely be over my mons, and
yes,
low
rise jeans.
If my little hip bones weren't showing, what's the point of getting dressed,
Yeah.
But so I guess it is what it is, but like the fashion changes, and I honestly feel like it's a teenage boy who's attracted to teenage girls. It doesn't really matter, I think, what the girls are wearing. I honestly feel like it's the sick, fart-filled male teachers that must be the problem. And I don't know what to do about that because, like, if these grown men don't know better, because, like, that's a child. That's a child that you're looking at. It doesn't matter what the child is wearing.
It's a child.
It's a child. And if the child is just wearing the fashion of the day, which the fashion of these days is loose shirts and loose jeans. It's like Billie Eilish and stuff. But
now,
I think,
and here's
I fucking know.
The only famous person is Billie Eilish.
Yeah, exactly. As established by earlier show. But
now I'm not going to get biblical on you, Cassandra.
Please don't.
I say this to these male teachers. If your left eye causes you to look at a female student, gouge it out and throw it away. And if your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. Matthew 28 to 29, 5:28 to 29.
Really?
Yeah, that's a real thing. It says, if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee.
That sounds like Shakespeare.
For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So what I'm saying is, you fucking creepy teachers, keep your eyes to yourself. And also, female students, no. The minute you get breasts, when people are gazing upon you.
It's
awful. It fucks kids up. Like, it's awful. It's also, why are girls having to dress? Why can't boys be taught to control themselves? It's a distraction. Then control your distraction. It always targets female students.
I
It's
can
never
say from
yeah.
my memory that I would wearing because I had boobs early
Yeah.
on, and I wouldn't
Same.
wear tank tops because I wanted to be ogled at. You wear tank tops because it's 90 degrees.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's just gross. It's just gross. It's interesting though, this school board was 5 female members. The
Yeah.
vote was 3-2. So a Tiffany, a Christina, and an Amanda voted for favor of the more lenient dress code. However, a Michelle and an Anna voted against it. But interesting that the leadership was all 5 women because normally it's a mixed bag typically, but these girls are like, no, I was dress coded and it's bullshit. They grew into women that are now on the school board. Maybe I should run for school board instead of judge.
We love to see it.
Get into politics, ladies.
Not us, though. We're kind of dorks.
Nah, I don't know. You're going to do any of that. Seems hard. Seems like a lot of work.
What are you hoarding?
Seems like a lot of work. This little book by an author, it's called The Catcher in the Rye. And no, unfortunately, we can't advocate for that. And, no more Mark David Chapmans, as I've always said. But I'm hoarding a little thing. I don't know if I've talked about it already, but it's called Umi Plum Liqueur. Have I talked about this?
You've definitely talked about it to me. I want to say that you've even hoarded it before, but girl, go ahead. I mean, because if you haven't, then don't keep the people from it. But you have talked about it so much that I can't promise that you haven't hoarded it before.
I know I've brought it over to your house, but I love it. It's a bright purple liqueur. If you want something that's super Halloween and gives you that fall vibe, an elixir, add some dry ice, add some Umi, UME plum liqueur.
Don't drink dry ice though, because that can kill you.
Ugh, what a bore, dry ice.
I'm sorry. I'm doing it for you, girl.
Yeah, I need that lesson actually. But it's delightful. It makes your drinks really pretty. It has a nice bitterness that can pair perfectly with a Prosecco so that it kind of sweetens them out. And it's beautiful.
That's how you served it to me. It was delicious.
Yep. Makes a really pretty Halloween drink. So Umi, UME purple liqueur, and the bottle's gorgeous. It looks like something straight out of Alice in Wonderland. I love it. What are you ordering?
So there's an app called Too Good To Go. That's TOOGOODTOGO. Too Good To Go, all one word. This is an app that works with local restaurants in your area, hot sluts in your area. Okay, so we've been liking it. The basis of the app is that restaurants and coffee shops, etc., when they close every day, they tend to throw out a shit ton of food. Bakeries, they throw out a lot of stuff because they want to serve the freshest things. Restaurants will throw out pre-made sides, things like that. And so this Too Good To Go app is an opportunity to pay very low prices for the sort of end of day leftover stuff to prevent it from going into the trash. It prevents the restaurants from throwing it away, and it saves you a bunch of money. So we've had 2 already that we've done. There's we had some from California Fish Grill, which there's a bunch of locations everywhere, and we paid $6 for it. Or it's always around 4 to 6 p.m. and you have to pre-reserve it. So places that are very popular, they get bought out in a minute, but you have to just kind of stay on top of it. But we got pre-made sides from Fish Grill for $6, and it was this big thing of beans, 2 big things of rice, kale salad, zucchini, all kinds of stuff for $6. And it tells you what the retail price of all that would have been, so you know how much you're saving. It also tells you the carbon emissions of what you were saving, et cetera, et cetera. We got some cookies from a local coffee shop yesterday, and some random kind of the goods that go into their boxes, their cold boxes and stuff. Now, not everything is going to be a winner because you're just getting what's left over, but for less than $6, it's kind of nice because all we did was we cooked up some salmon and then we had all of those pre-made sides, and it was like an amazing meal. And like those cookies hit yesterday. I needed that. I didn't know I needed that, but I needed that. So it's a good way to save money and reduce waste. Highly recommend. That's all one word. TOOGOODTOGO. Too Good to Go. It's happening in LA. I can't say if it's happening everywhere right now, but yeah, download that app.
Pizza shops, bakeries, California Fish Grill. Like, yeah, there's a lot of really cool places that we haven't done it yet, but I just downloaded it and I'm going to talk about it next week. And I'm glad you did because yes.
Yeah.
That's really cute.
Yeah, we were going to do pizza for today, and then I was like, it just didn't sound good. Leave it to someone else who it does. I think you usually have to reserve the day before. But
yeah,
I don't
you
know.
reserve. Yeah. And it's a surprise box, but it's like a really good, it's really good.
I think it's great. What are you throwing out?
I'm throwing out variable interest rate loans. Feels predatory.
Are you a flipper?
I'm not. It's the student loans. It's these private student. It's all bad. It's all bad.
Yeah,
all of
babe.
it. I'm up to my freaking neck in it, and I'm very upset. But we'll figure it out. I'm mad right now. That's all. I'm mad right now, but I'll figure it out. Anyway, that's me. What about you? What are you throwing away?
I mean, I think that it's fair to throw out variable interest loans. It is predatory. You're not wrong. And if you can avoid these things, well, I'm just going to say it. And I'm not trying to talk shit about you. I think that you probably agree with the statement. If your only option is a variable interest loan, you probably can't afford the thing that you're about to get.
Sure.
And so it's really fucked up that they make that as part of the college student loan buying experience. It's fucked up that they make it part of the car buying experience. It's fucked up that they make it part of the house buying experience. Anyways, I agree with that. But what I'm throwing away, I told you it would come back around when I mentioned the raucous Halloween party from my Why I'm Trash story. I'm talking 2016 was that time. So I was probably 26 years old. I'm not 26 anymore, baby trash cans.
You're not.
I sure am not. So I am throwing away the lack of more responsible feeling Halloween parties.
Yeah.
I've only been invited to one Halloween party this year, which is not a surprise considering how I'm about to speak. But it just doesn't seem like Halloween is one of those ones where, because like Friendsgiving and Christmas parties, like when we're all in our younger 20s, like, yeah, they are a little bit wilder, but like as we get older, like they do turn into just really drunken dinner parties. And it's nice. It kind of adjusts with age. I feel like the Halloween party has not adjusted with anyone's age. And I don't want Halloween to just be a young person's game where you're either a child and trick-or-treating or you're in your young 20s dressing up like a slut as much as you can and kind of going that direction. Like, where is that mid-30s Halloween party? Everyone should still get super drunk for sure, but like something that doesn't start at 9, like maybe, and you know what I think it is and why they don't exist? None of us have houses. And so in your 20s, throwing a party in an apartment, a rager in an apartment, you just couldn't be told otherwise. Or you've got like 7 roommates in a house. But you can't be told otherwise. And so you don't see the problem. No one in their 30s is going to bring someone into their rental and risk a Halloween party. I don't know what the difference, because like, look, I'm throwing something out with no solution. I love throwing Christmas parties and I will. And I would argue that I've been drunker at Christmas parties than I have at Halloween parties. But there's just something when people get the costume on that it has this element of danger that you're like, I'm not bringing that into my home.
You're another person, when that happens.
Yeah. I want that though. I'm hoping that in time, perhaps if I ever win the California lottery and am able to upsize, because I don't live in a big enough apartment for a Halloween party. For some reason, I live in a big enough apartment for a holiday party that is the same exact size. Am I crazy? You know what I'm talking about? Like
know
I could
exactly what
30
you're
people
talking about.
30 people at a Christmas party and 30 people at a Halloween party, it feels like a
It's
different
different.
animal.
It's very different. Yeah. That is so interesting. Because I don't know, Brack, I'm invited to a warehouse
Like
Halloween
that's
party.
because that's what it is Halloween parties demand space for some reason. Everyone I've ever been to was like at a warehouse or someone who had a basement in their house, and it was 2 floors of party.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's up with I don't get it. So I don't, but I want, it's like I want to enjoy Halloween, but like
You
I
want to
don't even
party?
plan. Yeah, I could party. I like to party. But like the one that we were invited to, I was like, I think it was in a fucking warehouse
Of
actually.
course.
And I was like, no, where am I going to park? Like things that you just don't think about when you're in your 20s. You're like, how far is that warehouse? 3 miles? Oh, I'll just run there in fishnets. I don't know, dude. I like, I don't want to have children to enjoy Halloween, but I have
Right.
a feeling that's going to be my only shot.
I was bringing something to someone's house and I was handing it over, and she hands me back a little gift bag full of candy.
Bitch, I have a story right after this.
I was like, I thank you so much. Like I'm just delivering something. I'm handing something off. Thank you so much for the candy. Like adults should get you trick or treat, just get candy, but it should be things like a White Claw, or here's a book that I'm done like free libraries, but that's the trick or treat. Like you should be able to collect things instead of just candy on Halloween as adults. Is that crazy?
I had an anonymous person drop a bag of candy. I know this sounds bad. And this doesn't sound good. We had an anonymous person drop a bag of candy at our door. They had to get buzzed in, so obviously it was someone we knew, I hope, with a little note on it that said, "You've been booed." and then you're supposed to like display that note in your window as if anyone has a front window. Don't be like, I've already been booed. Like, don't get me again.
Right.
And you're supposed to boo someone else. And the only people that I could think of that lived close enough, because I could boo you, but I'm not going to drive all the way to where you live. I love you, but I'm not going to do it. I don't have all day to boo you. But like, the only people I could think of to do it to was probably the people who did it to me. So instead I was just like, all right, well, I guess we're just going to eat this candy. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the, I don't know. It was a weird experience. I was also like really trying not to eat sugar when I got it. So I was like kind of annoyed.
Yeah.
But like now I'm like, lightening up. I'm the problem. That's all I can say. I am the problem. And where can you find me? I'm sure Erica's about to ask. You can obviously find me shaking a stick on the corner of Wilshire and Western, telling people that Halloween is holiday for devils. Where can they find you? And more importantly, where can they find this podcast, Erica Curry?
You can find me at Iconic Erica Curry on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, Spill. That's, whatever. I'm posting some content. I got some stuff up. You can find me at Iconic Erica on Poshmark as always. More importantly, the thing you need to know is you can find this podcast at Trashy Trashy Pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky. Our website is trashytrashypodcast.com, just trashytrashypodcast.com. This is where you can find links out to all of our things. You can send in why you're trash, or a story that you'd like for us to cover and we can read it on the podcast. You can shop merch, get you a winter hoodie, get you a mug for the upcoming autumnal and winter seasons at
Yummy.
trashytrashypodcast.threadless.com. But the most important thing is you can get ad-free episodes, recaps of our Golden Bachelor, your own private fan fiction read on the podcast.
For the first 10 people.
The first 10 people, the baby trash can nickname at patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast. That's patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast. We'll also have Apple Podcast subscriptions and things like this turned on shortly. But if you want to go through Patreon, again, exclusive images, behind the scenes content, you can find all of that. Ad-free episodes at patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast. You will receive your own, you can listen in the Patreon app, or you will receive your own RSS link That
Girl,
will
we
be
have an
separate.
ad for this. Don't make them listen to the whole ad again.
Use Goes Trashy for all ads if you're hearing it, and we appreciate you listening so much. Thank you for the reviews. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for signing up for the Patreon. We really hope you enjoy the content. Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage too, girl. That was a ghost.
I was so scared. Bye.